basically the same
Yeah,
anyway.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, I remember there was a woman once who told me that. She said, "I've dated criminals, I've dated crooks, and they're basically I mean, crooks and cops, and they're basically the same."
well, it's the same thing about what? The preacher, the
And the pimps,
pastor,
yeah.
and the pimp. So, being loquacious
Yeah.
and they're able to do this and that and the
Yeah.
third. Getting into the mind of a criminal, sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta
Well,
be a
that's
criminal.
that's some that's
Um,
like what Deep Cover is about and Donnie
mm,
Brasco and also Al Pacino.
yeah,
Donnie Brasco, we probably do that one
mm,
day. But like that's the point, right? You get too deep undercover. Like that happened to my man Crockett back
yeah,
in Miami Vice back
mhm,
in the day when
yeah,
I forgot
yeah,
what his undercover name was, but Barnett or something like
yeah,
that. But he got too
mhm.
deep, right? Like
Well,
that's happened.
it's the same thing, you saying "too deep," same thing
Yeah.
with "In Too Deep" with Omar Epps and LL Cool J,
That
where
we're gonna do that one day.
literally
That wait, Dwayne Giddens, God Giddens, we gotta do that one day.
that's crazy, this dude
We
called
gotta do
himself
that one day,
God.
man. We gotta do that one
Woo.
day.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But then that goes to the next and last thing about the culture that I want to speak upon, and that is accountability or the lack thereof, as displayed in the relationships in Heat. So that rapport that these individuals have, respectively, amongst themselves in their crew, so that intertwines with also them and their respective spouses. So what I mean by that is, how can you appreciate life and bring life into this world, a
Mhm.
la Chris, and like in the case of Vince and being a stepfather, but knowing that one, you may have to
Yeah.
murder someone, or
Or be
B,
murdered because of how you're operating.
executed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? There it's almost like the home life for these characters, and I think you see it the best with Chris and Charlene. Chris and Charlene's home life is like a fantasy world. The real world they live in
Mm.
is you might get shot, you might have to shave all your hair off. You know you know, you might have to be with the cops with Dominic, like, that's, like, the stuff that really might happen to you, you know what I mean? Like, that's the real life. The life where y'all are, like, going out to dinner, like you said, date night, that's not the real thing.
Mm-mm. Well, and that's the funny thing too, because they show the scene of Michael's wife when she hears, and again, think about this scene that I'm touching upon. One, you see Lily, that is Mike, what you call it, Dennis Haysbert's uh,
His
significant
girlfriend.
other, wife, girlfriend,
That's the Allstate guy,
and
right?
she finds,
Yeah, the Allstate. Yeah, you
yeah,
say yeah,
uh-huh,
the
and he's
Allstate man. Every time
well,
I
he's
see him,
also,
I say, "Man, you're in good hands with Allstate."
well, I'm thinking of Serrano in Major League, but
Oh,
nonetheless,
that's right.
again,
Yeah, that's
or even the
right. Yes.
or even the president in
Yes.
24 with
Yes.
Kiefer
Yes.
Sutherland. But nonetheless, I mean, his catalog, his
Yes.
filmography
Yeah.
is deep. But nonetheless, my point is that Lily finds out in a bar that he's deceased. And the scene prior to that, that they have together, is her telling
Yeah.
him that she's proud of him for enduring and persevering amongst the madness of some dude who's supposed to be working within the
That's ripping them
system.
off.
Like, he's trying to give it a fair shake. It's ripping him off. I get 25% of your cut. And if you don't like it, go talk to the cop because he knows the
Yeah.
deal. What? So then in turn, she finds out about her loved one's expiration via a news report that they're trying to
Yeah.
sensationalize. And then in turn, it flashes to Charlene. And then the next scene after that is Michael's wife standing
Finds
holding a
out he's
mug.
dead.
And it was like she
Yeah.
had no clue. Yeah, like she was just like
Yeah.
startled, almost flabbergasted. Like, she couldn't comprehend that this is what he does and these are the ramifications of
Yeah, and you
said
know what's
action.
interesting is that I actually went back and watched the deleted scenes. You can find deleted scenes for this movie, and one of the deleted
Mhm,
scenes is Michael's character coming home after the Barabons robbery, and he comes home with his
mhm.
money, and he puts like it on the island, and the wife immediately takes it and
Mhm.
hides it. So she's aware. I mean, they all know, but it's like that scene intentionally shows you how much she knows. Yeah, this is the life that we chose.
But then that goes to the accountability. Like, this comes with the territory. And how can you be a parent? How can you be a mother? How can you express some type of devotion to life? Because again, they're bringing life in the world when you're basically an
Yeah, that's
accomplice. And I
exactly what
think
they
they
are. Yeah,
go and when And the fact that they're men, even though they're the heads of the household, talks about their whole house being built on sand and being corrupt and them being immoral, or at the very least ambiguous,
But,
and
like,
ambivalent.
nobody ever thinks they're gonna get caught though, man. No, nobody
Yeah.
everybody thinks they're going to get out. Everybody every
Well, that was the
every
whole premise of the movie, where they were like, "This is
that's
our
how it
last
always
big score,"
is.
and their original score was to steal
Yeah,
platinum and other precious metals. And then all of a sudden, Neil gets the feeling where and then it's solidified by him hearing the sheriff's officer backing into the trailer,
yeah,
excuse me, the
mhm,
tractor portion. And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Yo,
yeah,
we're walking away."
yeah, but it's
That's
like,
it.
whenever I think about it, I always think about an American Gangster. That scene where Denzel Washington's
Mm,
character
another good
is
movie.
talking to the guy that they were getting opium from, and he tells him,
Mm,
there's a difference between quitting and giving up.
yeah.
Like, there's a difference, and it's like, these guys heat and so many gangster movies, and we always see that, like, or robbery movies especially. People are always trying to get that last big score, and that's usually when you go down the tubes is when you the last one that you try right before you trying to get out is when you go down.
Well, the thing is, would you rather be carried by six or judged by
Yeah.
12?
How about neither? Get a four how about just get a
Walking away.
401k and just just be a regular dude, man. But anyway,
Son.
all right, let's get into this to the cake, man. So we gotta obviously there's gonna be a lot of slices of cake for this, man. I'm not gonna belabor
Mm,
it, but I'm
mm.
gonna I'm gonna hit a couple things. So first, Wayne Grow. Wayne Grow is such a monster. he's
Scuzzy.
such a he's such
Scuzzy,
he's such a
scuzz bucket.
monster in this movie. Like Wayne Grow, like so the title for this show, right? This is cops versus crooks versus villains. Cause it's like
Oh,
like
he's a
like
villain.
Vincent is trying to get Neil, but
Psychopath.
Neil is trying to get Van Zant and Wayne Grow. Because Van Zant and Wayne Grow are like real villains. Wayne Grow goes from being like, yes,
He's a
he's a
serial
serial
killer.
rapist. He's a serial rapist and murderer,
Yeah.
right? He's like a psychopath. And he's like, he has no,
Total
he's like, he breaks all the codes of criminality. And it's a great
rat.
villain. He's so bad in the movie that it makes Neil and everybody else seem kind of good by comparison. So I just liked how the characters played. Shout outs to the dude who played him. I know you're gonna name the names in a second, but shout outs
Kevin
to
Gates.
him. Great job with the villain. I hate Wayne Grow, and I love that his name is just Wayne Grow. It's not like John Wayne Grow. You don't know if Wayne Grow is the first name, last name. You don't know. You don't care because he's just evil. So that was the first thing. We talked about the scenes with Neil and the scene in the diner with Neil and Vincent. Just a great scene. I just love watching. You can just watch that scene by itself on a YouTube clip and be good with that. Um, the robbery planning, I love how they show the intelligence of the crew for every thing that they pull off, especially in the
Yeah.
beginning. You see them individually buying the things that they need to be able to do the job. Well, later on, when it comes, well, like you said, when they're trying to steal the platinum and everything, Neil is working, looking at a book about precious metals. Later on, they figure out how to like rewire the alarm system for the bank. I just like that. And by the way, I never realized I this is one of the things I saw. Maybe people have noticed this before, but the beginning of this movie is copied basically by The Dark Knight. That's really like it's
Mm.
like that the beginning of that, like the pacing of it and the idea of like the masks and how everything is orchestrated so well. It's kind of like Christopher Nolan was like, yo, I like that, man. I like what Michael Mann did. Shout outs to that. And then last but not least, man, yo, the downtown shootout scene, even though it's implausible, in the movie theaters, it was so loud. The every shot, every
Yeah.
bullet, it was just so
That's
it was
surround sound.
amazing. And you when you watch it on TV, it just doesn't do it justice. They should put this back in the movie theaters. If they did, I would watch it because the sound of it, it sound you could it feels like you can hear the sounds of bullets reverberating around the buildings in like downtown LA. So that's my
Well,
cake. I
first,
could give you the whole thing, but that's what I'm going with.
what kind of bullets were they putting through? Like, those are
Yo,
beyond armor piercing. Like, them joints
yeah,
going
the
through
real stuff.
cars
Yeah,
like Swiss
yeah. I
cheese.
mean, they had the top level stuff. And here's the thing. LAPD has always had that because LAPD has always had close relationships with the military. So Los Angeles Police Department
Mhm.
has access to weapons that most police departments don't. So the fact that Al Pacino and them,
Mm.
they're like, "Yo, we can get it with y'all too." That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, I mean,